presents David Adodo Show on 106.1 FM.
Mastercraft on the beat.
No, I do. Chineke na-emego kwanwo ogbenye nsege. Every day by day I just dey celebrate oh. Everything I do we just dey penetrate oh. I just want to say oh thank you Jehovah oh. See I'm living large, I get angels so for my ghetto. Never forget where I come from, not from ghetto. Oh no. I just want to say oh thank you Jehovah.
You're listening to African Voices Radio.
I call look if I follow one day you must get it. See I come from East the enter street brother you know. Hey Jimmy fair I turn to beast you already know. Him I know now yellow moon don't get fair. Oh now yellow me gon' get to ya oh. Him I not rap a balloon button gets a head. I saw him balloon button got koya oh. I came with so and the conquer. I love for them just a wonder. Some wish come up and under. I fire them with the thunder. Mwana kuzi kwanu nuju. No. Mano chill. I cover myself. Matachine kenne mego kwanwo ogbenye nsege. Every day by day I just dey celebrate oh. Everything I do we just dey penetrate oh. I just want to say oh thank you Jehovah oh. See I'm living large, I get angels so for my ghetto. Never forget where I come from, not from ghetto. Oh no. I just want to say oh thank you Jehovah. Ure keneri wo to go father Adekwamu no ya no father
I moto I dey travel go bodo yibo. Na private jet remain for me baba you know. Oku dilibi Okobi I never take me photo. You know easy to the jury governor Ambode. Na father big God the governor he be to me oh. Since I lost my daddy now he don't adopt me oh. I say gonna the days when you dey hug me. You right about now.
Facebook? Oh, Facebook.
We're live. I can see everybody. We're live.
But Jason can tell us when to start now. Jason. Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to African Voices Radio. Today we have two doctors on the line for you. Two doctors who are going to be sharing some light on this coronavirus that is ravaging everybody, ravaging the whole world. So we are very lucky today to have Dr. Eddie Okobi and Dr. Francis Okobi with us to elaborate and sensitize everybody on this deadly disease. So you're welcome to Dr. Francis Okobi and Dr. Eddie Okobi, two brothers who are physicians in the United States. And as usual, we have the co-host, the Queen herself, we have Tunde, we have Charles also joining us. So welcome everybody to David Adodo Show.
Thank you so very much, Mr. David.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you very much. It's always an honor to be on the show, David Adodo Show. Hello and good evening, all listeners. I hope we're all doing very well, staying calm and following all the precautions. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. So we want you to share some light on this coronavirus that is everywhere. There's basically no continent that has not touched. No country that this deadly disease has not touched. A lot of people are dying every day. Everyone is affected. So let me start with Dr. Francis Okobi. What can you tell us about this coronavirus that is killing a lot of people, right now?
Well, yes. Well, yes. Thank you very much. It's a pandemic. Again, I'm sure we're all very familiar with that term, pandemic, because it affects just about every nation on this earth, and it has raised a lot of questions, political, economic, and most importantly, health questions. The scientists are fighting. They are, coming up with new tests, and trying to see what can be done. The impact is being felt, economically and otherwise. The numbers keep rising, and I have some numbers here from the John Hopkins website about on where they are, what numbers they have currently. But beyond the numbers are the fact that we listeners or people out there should take all the precautions that have been proposed. The hand washing, the social distancing. In the course of the show, we're going to speak more on social distancing and the importance, because new cases are coming up. This is a novel. It's called a novel virus because it's new. They don't really know much about it. It's still being studied. What is the mode of transmission? How do people get it? Those things are still being studied. So the first thing that we would highly recommend to everybody listening to us is to maintain those precautions. Don't just assume it's business as usual and go out. I drove through an eatery and I was going to buy some. I looked inside and there were people inside. And they were standing 6 feet apart. Fair enough. But is that enough? So the question is that enough? There are beaches in Florida and in California where people still go. Well, I believe that has stopped now, but a couple of weeks ago we saw pictures out there of people lounging on the beaches. This is not the time for that, because this virus is still being studied. Let's adhere to all the recommendations that have been put out there by health professionals so that we can reduce transmission. Hopefully, we believe that the ongoing studies that are being carried out right now will bring an answer. But for now, the future still remains pretty bleak. Lots of people are walking around with fear in their hearts, and of course, it's not exactly out of place to be concerned. And because we're concerned, that's why again we're stressing and emphasizing on keeping all the precautions and following all the guidelines that have been put out there by the CDC, the World Health Organization, and all the other health professionals. Like I said, social distancing, hand washing, and just assume that you have this. Don't think, okay, it's not going to happen to me. Besides, because people that have this illness and are not symptomatic, in other words, are not showing any symptoms of this illness, can still pass it on to some other person. Could be their family member, could be friends. So just assume that you have it. Assume that yes, there's a chance that I could get it, and stick with those instructions that are put out there for all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Eddie. Yeah, Dr. Eddie, what can you tell us about the precautions we have to take? And most of our brothers and sisters back home in Africa, this thing is gradually penetrating all the countries in Africa. And I really want you to talk more about this disease and all the precautions that we need to be taking, that they need to be taken at home. Because we have a lot of technological equipments here that can help here in America and in other advanced countries. This is not the same in Africa. So I really want you to hammer on the precautions that they should be taken back home, so as this thing will not become, it's already deadly. It's already a pandemic, so it will not have much impact on our people back home.
Oh, thank you. In the medical parlance, there's someone who say prevention is better than cure. So if we do these things, we're most likely not to get it, even though it hasn't been proven 100% that these things all work, but we are encouraged to do them. The very first thing, I'll divide them into two categories: those that have symptoms and those that don't have symptoms. First, it's important to understand how this disease is like. If you get the virus, you're going to get some symptoms. These symptoms you get They usually look like you have flu. So you're going to have fever, body ache, a runny nose. Some have reported red eyes. Some have reported sneezing and coughing. There are various, the medical field is trying to aggregate all the symptoms, but these are the common symptoms that have been reported across board. Difficulty with breathing. If you have these symptoms, first is to call your doctor. Don't go to the internet to begin to search, hey, do I have coronavirus or not? Call your doctor, visit your doctor, call them, and they'll give you an appointment. Second thing is, because you have these symptoms, you don't know if it's coronavirus or not. You need to ask yourself, do I have the risk factors? Have I traveled outside to endemic regions? Did I recently come from Europe, China, or whatever? Then you isolate yourself. The reason why they want you to isolate yourself is that because they don't want you to spread it, pending when the result is out. You isolate yourself means take yourself away from other people. Don't be in the same room with them. Don't be in the same car with them. Don't be in the same journey or in the same gathering. Don't be in the same church with them. Just keep yourself in a separate room. For those that don't have symptoms, it's best to assume that I have this disease. For us to cope this disease with the way the disease is moving, everybody should assume that I have the risks to have this disease. Even the man in the farm, the man that is so taken away because of the way this disease is being transmitted is not known. So if you assume that you have to take these precautionary measures, wash your hand, wash your hand, wash your hand. Stay 6 feet away from people as much as possible. Whenever you wipe surfaces, because there are some studies that have shown that this virus stays about 17 hours on surfaces, 3 hours in the air. These are studies. They're not conclusive yet, but they are various studies. So keep wiping as much as possible. Wipe. What do you use to wipe? You wipe with spirit alcohol. They are also trying to study if jig can be able to denature this virus. So you wipe with spirit alcohol. You wipe with jig. You wipe with soap and water if it's possible to wipe. If you go to a shopping mall, as you're coming out, you wash your hands. The railings on the shopping mall, the doors, make sure that you wash your hands as you're coming out. If it's possible to wipe them or touch them or use whatever prevention you can use before you touch these doors, these doorknobs, make sure you do that. For health workers, they're advising us now to, when you go to work, have 2 pairs of clothes. So you change when you're going to work, you change before, as you're coming out from work, you also change so you don't carry infection from the hospital back home. Leave your shoes outside your door. I know it's customary that people walk into the house with their shoes, but you want to limit the way you transmit this particle. Leave your shoes outside your door. Keep 6 feet as much as possible. We've talked about the 6 feet. If you want to sneeze, please make sure you cover your hand this way and sneeze. These days, CDC is beginning to advocate for face masks. In the hospital where I work, they're beginning to tell us when we come into the hospital, please put on your face mask, because they are still trying to study how long this virus goes in the air. So get your face mask. Although these days, face masks is a little bit difficult to get, but what can we do? Adhere to the local guidelines. Various regions have local guidelines. Work from home when you need to work from home. Don't tell yourself, hey, I'm the superhero, or I'm the spiritual master, I'm the most faith man, or I'm the most strongest man on earth, I'm the most healthy. No, just make sure you adhere to these things. I don't want to talk more, but we can go on and on and on the precautions that we need to take.
Yeah, thank you very much. The Queen, in Africa right now, this thing is gradually spreading from Nigeria. Right now in Nigeria, we have about 89 cases. And it's also growing in Ghana and all over Africa. So what can I know you hear a lot of news from back home. What can you tell us about what you are hearing back home right now? Desola, the Queen.
Yes. Thank you, Miss Adodo. It's a bit scary because, like what actually said at the beginning, that in advanced country, a whole lot of precautions can be taken. But back home, the fear that I have most is the way the system is. This is a country, most Africa. This is where you live by the day. Most people live based on what they earn per day, and taking that out of them. And the way the market is structured back home is different from the way it is in advanced country. People sit together, they mingle right in the market together. So if you say, okay, people stay home, we can't even say precisely now how many people have contracted this disease. It's scary because by the time it blows in Africa, I don't know how they're going to control it, because the way people live, aside from the market, the way houses are built, a whole lot of people live in what they call face-to-face apartments, which happens here, but is different the way that it's structured. So if you said, okay, people should maintain 6 feet apart, how would they do that? These are people that they have maybe 10 kids in a maybe 2 bedroom apartment, and right opposite them they have another family, maybe 10, and they go out pay for what they're gonna eat. How do we prevent that? That's most scary aspect of this. We're not talking of people that live in big houses. We're talking majority of our people, they live together in different apartments. So how do we prevent this? If you are saying, okay, these are the preventive measures where sanitizers are not even common, face masks are not common, what do you call it? Gloves are not common. How do we prevent this? Because that is the most scary aspect of it.
So
Let
me.
Can
I say something?
Yes, please.
Okay, there's a famous quote by the Ghanaian president. I respect that man so much. He says, "The economy we know how to restore. The falling market we know how to rebuild, but a dead man we don't know how to bring him back to life." When I read it from here, I was like, wow, this man is a wise man. First of all, is to be alive first before you begin to think about the economy, before you begin to think about your business. You have to be alive before you can run it. That's how to address the peculiarities in Africa. Second one is, you mentioned there's a lot of people overcrowding, poverty, and the rest. Simple thing as hand washing has been proven to reduce infection way over 90%. They're crowded in the room, but they can wash their hand. Or another person will say, what about in areas where they don't have water, what source of water to wash your hand? These are peculiarities, and that's where we're now speaking up in these radio shows. The government should step in. This is a serious thing. The government should step in. The government of Rwanda, is it Ethiopia? I can't remember. You know what they did? They built public hand washing pumps in various locations, bus stops, hotspots, schools, churches, so that people can wash their hand. Wash your face, wash your hand. At least if you can wash your hand, you can reduce it as much. There's little or nothing you can do for the man that you don't have water for, but provide water for him and teach him how to wash hand. He's going to do that.
Yeah, Tunde.
Yes.
Tunde, I know you are from Lagos. I know you are from Lagos, and the governor of Lagos State right now, Showolu, he's doing a fantastic job. I've listened to a lot of news, and I've watched him. Lagos is the epicenter of coronavirus in Nigeria right now, and this governor has stepped up to the stage. He's doing a wonderful job. So what can you tell us about what is going on in Lagos right now pertaining to coronavirus and the effort that the government is making?
Yes, I would congratulate the Lagos State governor for the effort he has put into curbing the coronavirus. As you all know, Lagos is a very dense population. It's a city where everybody comes in to, just like New York, visitors, guests, and everything. So it's really saturated in Lagos. However, they have used the National Stadium in Surulere as the coronavirus center. They have built up the place, the stadium. They have gone in there. They built up the place. They have about 150 beds that they have an isolation.
having technical glitches.
Yes, glitches, yes. These efforts that they are putting in to slow down, the coronavirus until we're able to do something. And when I look at the streets of Lagos, too, the streets are empty. Everybody is heeding to this. So it is gaining ground. It's beginning to sink into the head of the ears of the bus conductor, the bus driver, and everybody heeding to this. So everybody is, staying at home. So kudos to the government, Lagos State, and the way they're bringing the awareness to the citizenry for them to know what's going on. I guess the question that I would like for the doctor to address would be this question of that you don't have to be in a certain age group, coronavirus not to get you, because initially the news that was out there was that you have to be 70 and above for you to get this virus. But what we're hearing is even younger people. I would like for the doctor to talk on that and expatiate on that so that the younger ones too can take it, because in the way we're young, we're carefree, we don't care. We think that we're invincible, nothing can hit us. So people to hear from a medical professional that would catch the eye.
Okay, maybe I can start with a response to that. What we're seeing today is highly unprecedented. Of course, in times past we've had pandemics, but in these days and times of modern technology, and we're having such profound and very concerning results, it is something that, like my colleague said, everyone should take very seriously. I'm going to just provide some statistics from the Johns Hopkins University of Medicine website. And as of today, we've had a total confirmed cases of COVID-19 at 652,079. Jesus. That's a huge number. Then total deaths is 30,248. 30,248. And total that is recovered from this pandemic, from the disease, stands at 136 and 17. These numbers are pretty huge. Come to think of it, the amount of time that this illness was first mentioned in Wuhan province of China, last quarter of last year, 2019, to this time, is roughly about 12, 15 or 16 weeks. Let's just make it 20 weeks. If we've had this number of infestations and people afflicted and all those deaths within a span of 20 weeks, it is pretty serious. Now, Brother Tunde, I'm going to kind of just address the question you asked. Yes. What you said is for the most part true. There's an assumption by the younger folks, and that assumption is very concerning because they assume that I cannot get this disease because it's only going to affect the people that are that are elderly. There is an assumption, and it's not very correct. Now, the health professionals have tried to correct this assumption using statistics, using numbers and data. First of all, the language there is more like a semantic. Let me try and twerk it a little bit. It is not that the younger folks cannot get in medicine. There's always a possibility of something happening. It's not that the younger folks cannot get this infection. That cannot is absolute. And it doesn't really have any ground in medicine. Medical science is not always absolute because there are things that keep changing by the day, and new discoveries are being made. A better terminology, a better way to phrase it is the younger folks are less likely, on the other way around, the elderly people are more likely to suffer from severe respiratory disease caused by the COVID-19 because of a number of factors. The fact that they are elderly already kind of has an impact and has compromised their level of immunity. That's one. The other thing is that many times you find that some of these elderly people already have pre-existing respiratory, some sort of problem or some sort of disease going on in their respiratory pathways. Yes, they would have had some sort of organ failure, some sort of heart disease, cardiovascular, and respiratory problems. And some of these problems reduce increase the chances of them coming down with very severe illnesses, which can, for the most part, many times lead to death. So again, please, young people out there, listen to us. It's not that you cannot get this disease, but we've seen more incidents of death and serious problems and severe, complications from this disease in the elderly. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot get it. Now, come to think of it, even if you cannot get the disease and you cannot, suffer the problem, but you can transmit it. This is a highly contagious disease. Let me reiterate, it's a highly, highly contagious disease. Because if we've had all this number of people coming down with this illness within a space of 20 weeks, it is something that should be concerning to both the young, the elderly, everyone that are hearing our voice and is aware of this pandemic.
One thing
Thank you very much. Okay, go ahead, Dr. Eddie.
One of the things that makes this disease very deadly is that we, the younger folks, assume that we don't have it. It could be possible that we are the major carriers spreading around the society. It could be possible. So this is one of the things that makes this disease very, very deadly, because a lot of people are carrying it around asymptomatic and they are distributing it around the society. These are the theories that have been proposed, right? So it makes it so deadly. If you come out of the street, you see a lot of people on the street just walking around, acting as if nothing is happening. But underneath it, it's like a time bomb. We just seeding it around everywhere we go. It's very constant.
Yeah, Charles, how are you doing, Charles?
I'm doing wonderful, my friend. I'm doing okay. Hope everyone there is doing fine.
The government of Africa, I'm very concerned that they are already telling the citizens to stay indoor, and I'm kind of concerned about how they are going to be fed, because some of these people, they live on a daily basis on what they are able to make. So if the developed government of different countries in Africa are telling their citizens to stay at home, it's kind of very. I don't understand how did they expect the citizens to be able to make a living. Hunger and starvation might creep in and kill people. So what do you think the government of different African countries should be doing to help feed, apart from feeding the people, and also reduce the spread of this microorganism?
Yeah, Dave. Yeah, thank you very much. I think what you've just said now, if we have listened to Dr. Edward, what he said earlier about the Italian president, first of all, you got to leave.
Not the Ghanaian president. The Ghanaian president.
The Italian president, yes. You really got to be alive first for anything to even to be able to eat. So it's not really about, yes, we understand the way African works, so most of African countries. The thing is this, number one of what you're saying is what the government of Africans are doing. Most of the African countries, as we speak today, basically is doing what every other countries have done in trying to control this. Number one, you take, for example, we're talking about Nigeria. Every governor, the federal government have announced almost all these precautions for people to take. The problem is, like you said, due to the way that we live and survive, some people think, hey, this is it. If I stay home, how am I going to eat? But Dave, one thing that I realized, believe me, people, if you stay home, you will survive, because there's always a way. I mean, food is, one thing is food and one thing is, what am I going to be doing at home? Believe me, if you stay home and don't get this infectious disease that is bleeding every aspect of our life today, you already survived. Okay? But they have, what the African countries are doing now, most of the African countries, so more or less, let's say Nigeria, typically, everybody have come to understand. Believe me, a week ago, everybody thought this was a joke. I'll give, for example, one of the most busiest markets. One of the busiest market in Africa is located somewhere in Onitsha. Today, as we speak, there's nobody there.
Shut down. Right.
It was shut down. Just like when we're talking about Lagos. If you remember, if you go back, what's that bus area when Fashola was, everybody said, oh, you cannot clear this place. Thank you. Guess what? Today, the place is... So if the people want to do something, when they get the message, and I believe right now they've gotten the message, there are some other towns. I heard 2 days ago was having a funeral. Guess what? The army people came there and flogged the hell out of them. Everybody went home. So this is another way for them to implement this. But the thing is this, we'll go back to what you're saying. Believe me, they will survive. The survival we're talking about here is food. There's food. I mean, it might not be to the level that you wanted it. Like we do here. People would like to stock in tin food for 7 months. But there's still like Gary and rice there that can survive at least for 2 or 3 days. You see, they take this week by week. So the best thing is to listen to what the medical field or the government are saying. Stay home, take these precautions, do this and do that. Definitely they will survive. And I think they're surviving.
Thank you, Charlie.
Just a second. There's something that Dr. Frank said about the numbers. I mean, if you look at these numbers, and I believe that number is probably as at yesterday. If you look at the number today, it's more than what it was yesterday. More than what he just announced now. It's just about maybe updated this morning, but the latest one we have right now is thousands upon added to that number. So people should be very careful and take this serious.
Yeah, thank you very much, Charlie. And Jason should prepare for music because some people want to listen to music. But while we do that, is there anybody that has anything to add to what Charles said? Personally, I would think that the government should actually activate the military. The government should invest seriously on food and other essentials, and activate the military to distribute the food and the essentials to all the nooks and corners of Nigeria and other African countries. Because food is very essential, and most of these people will not be able. Some people don't have food at home. They cannot even afford to buy food. So if the federal government, uses its might to purchase food and have the military and the civil defense organization to distribute this food to nooks and corners of Nigeria, for example, that will help to alleviate the spread of this of the virus. So anybody want to say something about that?
So let me just say something quickly. Everybody is a stakeholder in this particular pandemic. I'll start with us, me, the people in the diaspora. It's time to think back home and give back home. A lot of philanthropic activities is required at this particular point in time. Support them back home. If you could set up NGOs, if you could set up whatever organization you can use, then they move away from us in the diaspora supporting people back home. People back home, there are a lot of millionaires, a lot of billion-dollar boys at home running successful businesses. This is time to activate a social corporate responsibility. Banks, manufacturing industries, and the rest. Then the government should take responsibility. This is time for not time for docility. Time to act, come out to the street and activate these social programs that people need. Because, like I said in previous time, if the market woman cannot feed his family, he will disobey those laws. But if the government activates these social programs and say, hey, wait, we're coming to your region to distribute these things. I know a lot of African countries will complain of funds, but I tell you, the fund is there. The money alone that they are allocating to the politicians, if they could give a little piece of that to the poor people on the streets, I think it's going to go a long way.
Yes, I would like to say maybe one or two, but maybe when we come back on a commercial break, I would like to mention a few people that have donated and expectations from other aspects of our society. We'll talk about it when we come back after the break. I'll need to make few points. So music,
Ladies and gentlemen, you're still on to the David Adodo Show. I know we've spent some time speaking and talking about this very, very serious thing. This 37 minutes down the hour of 5 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're just joining us, you're listening to the David Adodo Show on African Voices Radio.
You're listening to African Voices Radio. I want
go and confine it. Killing somebody, she want make her come carry her. I'ma make her in one body, yeah. Hey baby, hey, you know what it is. Oh yeah, bring her the bay. Down, girl, go down, down. Yeah, the sound, girl.
You're listening to African Voices Radio.
I'm in love, I said I'm in love, baby, let me cover you. When you stand, I'm under you. Oh, na 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 na. Uncle, stop touching. Sorry, madam, sorry. I want to. I do.
You're listening to African Voices Radio.
You can go and confine it. Killing somebody, she want make her come carry her. I'ma make her in one body, yeah. Devil, down, girl, go down, down. Yeah, the sound, girl. I'm in love, I said I'm in love, baby, let me cover you. When you stand, I'm under you. Oh, na 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 na. Oh, cool, stop touching. Sorry, madam, sorry. I want to. I do. Shama she bad me. Omo Tony Kakai. You can go and confine it. Killing somebody. She want make her come carry her. I'ma make her in one body.
All right, so to our listeners, that was Kiss Daniel, and that's Yeba. You can get it on iTunes as well. While we were on break, on the lighter side of things, because when things get too serious, we tend to forget the lighter side of things. So, Doctor, I have this question for you. So I understand we have to keep 6 feet from everybody, and we have to put on face masks and gloves and all those things, to prevent corona. So does that mean when I go to sleep at night, I have to sleep 6 feet away from my wife?
Let me. Very interesting question indeed. But well, thank you very much for that.
We are not hearing the doctor.
Yeah, it's audio. We lost his audio. Anyway.
So can you hear me?
No.
Well, one doctor is off, then another doctor can speak.
Hey, doctor.
Well, Dr. Eddie can speak for why we are working on that.
So go ahead.
All right. Okay. So it's I think he's back.
Okay. Dr. Francis.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I lost it for a moment. But what I was saying is I was listening to a news about 2 physicians in, if I want to think in New York, I'm not exactly sure now, but the man is a surgeon, the wife is an anesthesiologist. It happens that they are, both working in the same place. Now, of course, they haven't quite gotten the symptom yet. I mean, they haven't tested positive to this COVID-19, but they are high-risk candidates because they are coming in contact with people that are presented with signs and symptoms and have actually tested positive to COVID-19. So they made a decision that they were going to self-isolate. And that's what they started doing, They stay in different rooms now. And, of course, they are doing that until further notice. So, yes, if it comes to that, yes. Honestly, to answer your question, if it comes to that, yes, go ahead and self-isolate. Of course, we're all aware that the Prime Minister of UK, when he tested positive, he made a decision to self-isolate. That's about the best thing you can do, so I can safeguard the lives of people, your loved ones, and people around you.
It's also a form of
Corona is putting us under right now. It's not supposed to.
You can say that, but yes, and it's costing more sense than that. It's quite
it's
quite unfortunate.
It's a good way of family planning, actually. Stay away.
Yeah, that's true.
We call it Corona.
For people that want to do family planning.
Corona increased family planning.
I know.
Corona, I need to stay away,
Yeah,
the queen said she wanted to say something. The queen.
Yeah. Well, we're still talking about this Corona thing, and my focus is mainly on Africa because that is where my fear is. In advanced country, I know, the problem is intense, but if we have to take it back to Africa, it's going to be more serious. But we appreciate some people that be donating, like Aliko Dangote had given 1 billion naira, in support of this. A whole number of them: Jimovia, Shegun Agbaje, Abbas Wing, Tony Lumelo, Femi Otedola, Alhaji Rabiu. They total, all these people were donated 1 billion, naira. Even a musician, one of them, Two-Face, I've given 10 million naira. But my own concern, I don't want to be, so religious about this, but I'm looking at a religious sector. What are they doing? Because at times this thing gets at me. When things like this happen, I think from my own aspect, I don't know of other people, that is my belief, that where you worship should be the number one place you can run to. That those are the people that should save you, because these are the places you contribute your tithe. This is where you pay your contribution every month, every week, offering every time. So I've not seen any church in Africa, especially Nigeria, that is so huge and large, where they have thousands of followers following them. I've not seen any of them to come out to say, okay, this is what we are providing for our members, either the rich or the poor. I've not seen it, and it's eating me up.
Okay, can I say something? Providing WhatsApp. They are providing Zelle account and Cash App account for you to send your tithe.
Exactly, because now they do the service online, and they're still saying people should pay their tithes and offering online. But I've not seen that said, okay, we have 10 trailers of rice that we're giving to our members. They know the addresses of each of their members. They know where they live. They know the people that don't have nothing, that they're struggling in the church. Okay. What are they doing to help them?
Thank you. Can I say something?
Eddie want to speak.
Okay, I'm not holding brief for the church, but I know that the church has actually done a lot. I'll begin to say them one after the other. First of all, because this is a Christian radio, we start from the spiritual thing. They have been praying. Now, people say, what is prayer? Prayers can activate things in the physical. Yeah, it's true. Prayers can activate physical cash. Prayers can activate people. Prayers can bring ideas. Prayers can bring ideas that will solve this. And secondly, there have been pockets of announcements here and there of various people. I'll give you an example. The Catholic Church implemented a program in Lagos Diocese about distributing. There's what they call Caritas. They distribute food to the poor during this period. I have the link over here. Some other churches, I don't want to mention name, Apostles Johnson, Suleiman, Christ Embassy, Adeboye himself have also released some funds for ventilator beds. So the thing is that the church doesn't have the power of the mic. When I mean the power of the mic, the people that take the airways are the secular, people that can pay the journalists to talk for them. The church only waits to be amplified when the opportunity arises. I think the church should now begin to step up and begin to take the mic and say, these are what we have done. These are the things that we have actually done. But the church has been doing a lot on the background. Really.
Okay. Yeah,
I know the Queen. I think something, your question about what the church is doing. I'm just following the news as we speak right now. Breaking news right now. I think Governor El Rufai tests positive for the virus too. And this is a governor that he has been doing. I think everybody been hearing about what he's one of the first governors that shut the borders also. Nobody comes in, but now he has stayed the president. I know that some of the governors also are working with, some of the governments, state governments, are working with the churches. We're talking about distribution of foods. They've started collecting, so at least let's say for a number I knew that I have read, they have a distribution or rather certain locations where people can, send in. You don't have to come. I think they have this delivery. You don't have to come. What you have, they can come and pick it up. The department, the Ministry of Health or whatever is open at this time. They're the only department that is working in some of these states. The others are closed. They have a numbers out there that you can call with what you have. They are collecting cash from, online, whatever, Zelle and things like that. But if you have foods and all these, face masks and all that, they have numbers that you can call. They will send somebody to your warehouse or whatever. So there's something like this. The only thing is, Nigeria is, communications when it comes to what is going on. Sometimes it's really, believe it or not, some of us here are the one telling folks back home what is really happening in their state.
Charlie. Yeah.
So communication is a problem. The churches are helping. Just to answer your question.
Let me try to. I understand what the Queen is saying. The Queen is saying that with the magnitude of the churches in Nigeria, for example, how much they rake in every week from citizens, they are not doing enough to complement what they are receiving.
That's true.
The fact. This is a fact. I'm not here to lambast churches, but they are not doing enough. The truth must be said. These churches are not doing enough. They are collecting billions every week from citizens, poor people. They are riding a private jet. I don't have no problem with private jet. I'm going to buy one day. But the fact of the matter is,
I'm going to buy one too.
They are not doing enough for the citizens, for their church members. They ride in expensive cars. The people worship them instead of worshiping God. This is the time for them to step up to the plate, to the mic, and do something. And they're not doing enough. Compared to what they're making, that's what we are saying. So, Tunde, do you have anything to contribute to this?
Yes, I have a question from someone online, and it's in tune with what we are saying. Her name is Patience Onyema. Ms. Patience is asking, will the donation get to the masses? That if they make donations, will it get to the masses? That's the question she's asking. So I think it's
where I'm going.
Talking about, that the churches are not doing enough. They should have some kind of way they should distribute stuff to their members, not just your members now, because everybody is involved in this. I don't have to be a church member. If I'm hungry and you have food, please give me food, let me eat. I don't have to be a church member. This is so everybody. We all are in this together, like they say. So, and I don't have to be your church. I don't have to pay tithes to your church. I don't have to come to your church for you to be able to take care of me. It's a universal thing.
Yeah, Dr. Eddie, want to come in?
Okay, Doc, go ahead, Doc.
I think that's a very important observation. There is so much the church can do, actually, so much. Majority of us are Christians. I'm a Christian, for example, very strong Catholic, for example. The church can harness all the medical professionals, all the scientists, and begin to, look into this crisis from the medical point of view. What is our stand? What is a scientific stand from the church's point of view? They could sponsor research. They could sponsor research organizations. They could sponsor hospitals. They could sponsor beds. They could sponsor food. You talked about food. They could sponsor, articles. They could sponsor airtime and come online and begin to talk and say, okay, this is this. So there's a lot. But like I said, it's a journey to perfection. But they have been doing. I know that I just read about how the Pope donated 30 respiratory beds. Not enough, but at least it's something. People could. There's more. Still a lot to be done.
Yeah, Charles. Dr. Francis.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dr. Francis.
Very quickly. Yes, sir. Yes.
Go ahead.
Can you all hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
if you're joining us, listeners, you're still on the David Adodo Show, African Voices Radio. Just in case you're joining us, and you're welcome to this conversation The last thing that my colleague, Dr. Edward, said is what I want to hammer on. I want to kind of emphasize on. And I'm also speaking from a church coordinator perspective. The church is actually doing a lot. There are a lot of things going on that the church is doing. The problems that are inherent in Africa today are quite unique. They are not things that can go away overnight. Of course, they never even came there overnight. Poverty, illiteracy, ignorance, disease, and all of that. These are long-standing issues. And of course, the expectation is that these things will go away overnight. It probably would not. But the church is actually doing a lot of things. Some are seen, some are out there in the news, some are not seen. But like I always say, there's always going to be room for improvement. It's work in progress, if you ask me. There's always going to be room for more things to be done, especially in times like this. The scourge of this disease is the impact is pretty, intense. Of course, it's affecting lots of lives, economies, and all of that. So we just kind of keep encouraging those that are doing already, and those that are not, we'll still call them to, bring in their beat, and together we can try to take care of this, find a solution, and help those that have been impacted by this.
Thank you, Dr. Francis. We are lucky today to have two brothers who are also physicians. We have Dr. Francis, who is the elder brother to Dr. Eddie. They have about 5 doctors, 5 physicians who are the Okobis. That's a great thing. So we congratulate you guys for being physicians, and you are contributing a lot to the society. We appreciate the work that you are doing, especially being a part of the David Adodo Show on African Voices Radio. We really appreciate you, and we hope that you'll be coming more often to talk to us about what is going on. So, Ms. Queen, Jenny, we want you to say something.
Yes, I want to appreciate our sponsors at this time of the show before we, be talking, because if not because of them, the show will not continue. Dave Seafood and Poultry, we want to appreciate you for sponsoring this program from the inception. We appreciate you so dearly. God will continue to bless you. Heritage International Food, without you, we won't be here. We appreciate you guys. Radisson International Market, thank you so very much. We have a realtor, Easy, do it in easy way. The office is in Upper Marlborough, 1221 Caraway Suites 1050. And you can reach them on 301-559-2872. If you want to purchase your home, whatever kind of home, you can just easily reach them. They are there to help you out. And we cannot but say a very big thank you to our sparring sponsor, the pastor we brought in the other time, CSC Powerhouse Baltimore. He too is intention to be a sponsor of this program. He's asking us to bring the bill. I'm ready to pay for whatever month. Thank you so very much. We appreciate you guys. And we cannot say but thank. Yeah, those people for now. We have other sponsors that are coming up. And if you want to be part of the sponsor of this program, please give us a call on 202-913-8659. We are here to announce your project. So people, we're here to make your business known to everybody out there. Please be a sponsor of this program. Thank you so very much. So we're still going back to the doctor. We still have a whole lot to learn on this coronavirus that is eating up everybody. I'm scared because it has gotten to this state of, fear is setting in, because whoever you talk to now, they're talking about coronavirus. Nobody wants to go out, but unfortunately, some people still go out, especially the people in the health sector. I still go out every day, and the only thing I do is to take precaution, and I pray because I believe in the power of prayers. A whole lot of things have been going on right now on social media. Well, I don't know how far it is true. It's only the doctors that can say, okay, this is real or this is not real. They are saying even wearing mask cannot prevent anything, that this virus is not airborne. It's what you touch. And that the unfortunate thing is if you wear mask, it can even attract more virus into you.
So
by wearing it.
Let me just say something very quickly because we're about running out of time. We're taking this topic very serious, but a lot of people are actually recovering. That's the good news. so many people are recovering. Like the death rates actually I was just looking at the one statistics, the death rate is about less than 10%, less than, in some age group, less than 1%. But the thing is that we don't look at medicine with statistics, because that 1% is somebody's father, that 1% is somebody's uncle or something, but people are recovering. There's so many people recovering, so many people out there don't have it. The world is made up of over 10 billion people, 6 to 10 billion people, and we're talking about 600,000. But it's a serious topic, because this 600,000 is multiplying if we don't do the right thing. That's why we're shouting right now, do the right thing. But 8 billion people don't have it, or so 9 billion people. But just do the right thing so that these 9 billion people don't eventually get it.
Thank you very much. Tunde, do you have anything to say, Tunde?
No, I just want to thank our guests for coming in. We hope our listeners take this very seriously. It is so serious that we have 2 doctors on the program, so it's not a joke. So please take it very seriously. Take care of yourselves, and then God bless everybody.
Yeah, Charles, before the Charles.
Yeah, I think first of all, like everybody said, thank you very much, the doctors. It is serious, and that's why we're bringing these doctors, and I hope they're going to be with us throughout this ordain. So we all will come out through this. But just like we said before, churches, the funny thing about some of the churches in Nigeria is that some of them are still not even believing that there's something like this. Two clergymen today being arrested for having service today. After the church, even before the church started, they were arrested. So churches, please, you guys got to do more. There's a lot of churches in Nigeria. They have to do more than they're doing now. Thanks for listening. And then, docs, thank you for coming. We hope we have you guys next week.
Dr. Eddie. Just a quick one, because this time people say, whenever we're talking these things, people get scared and say, oh, we're talking fear. No, it's not fear, it's fact. There's a difference between faith, fear, and fact. These are 3 things. I can have faith, and I should also know what is the fact. Then I have faith. We're not saying, oh, you're going to die. No, we're saying fact. This is fact. This is real. Yes, know the fact, then have faith. Right? But people kind of confuse it when we're giving out statistics, and they say, oh, we are fearmongers. We're not fearmongers. We're talking facts. You need to arm yourself with fact. The Bible says, study that you may see yourself approved. Study, get the facts, get the knowledge. Then you now exercise faith against the facts.
Thank you very much. Dr. Francis, please.
Thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, or in case you've been with us, this has been the David Adodo Show on African Voices Radio on Praise 106.1 FM. We've been talking about COVID-19, the scourge, the disease, the virus, what you should know. Keep an eye out there. Listen to the news, and be confident in your heart. Do the right things that have been said out there, and just obey local guidelines, follow local guidelines, and follow your health leaders. Instructions have been passed out there. I believe strongly in my heart that we can overcome this, but that doesn't make it less serious. Yes, it is very serious. So let us keep an eye out there and follow all the precautions, and I believe that we'll come out successful. God bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Queen, you want to say something before I say something? The Queen.
Thank you so very much. This is David Adodo Show, and we'll be back next week. And believe there is virus out there. Please be part of this program for the beginning of. I think we appreciate you. We're getting there, and we're improving every day. Coronavirus is going soon. We're coming.
Okay. All right.
See you guys next.
Yeah, thank you very much for our listener. I want to just make it clear that we are on Skype, so that is why you have some of these technical glitches. We are on Skype, and we are the first on the organization to do something like this. Instead of us, we'd rather see you talk to you via video rather than just talk on the phone. So we decided to use the expertise of our co-host to make sure that this thing is on video live. So there are going to be glitches, and we are working on it. Every week we try to perfect it. This is David Adodo Show. We appreciate you all for watching and listening to us. Listen to the physicians who have done a great job. They will continue to come on the show to enlighten everybody. I am very concerned about my brothers and sisters back home. We wish you a healthy life, healthy lifestyle. Wash your hands properly. Use all the precaution methods that you are being told to use. And we pray to God that this also shall pass. This also shall pass. Again, we thank you very much for watching this show. This is David Adodo Show. We'll be seeing you again, and you'll be listening to us again next week, same time, same station. Thank you.
African Voices Radio presents David Adodo Show on 106.1 FM.
WLIF HD2 Baltimore.
The all-new Praise 106.1, giving our city just what we need right now. Baltimore's inspiration station. Praise 106.1.
From the Big Al Studio, Baltimore's #1 accident attorney.
This is Reality Radio. The impact of COVID-19 is being experienced globally, and there are legitimate concerns about its impact on your health. Most people who will get the virus will never develop any symptoms, and many who do have full recoveries. According to the CDC, older adults and people with heart disease, diabetes, and lung disease have a higher risk of getting very ill from this virus. So please, wash your hands regularly. Cough or sneeze into your arm or shoulder. Do not put your hands in your eyes, nose, or mouth without washing them first. And disinfect frequently all the surfaces that you use regularly. And most importantly, if you feel ill, please self-quarantine. Sadly, thousands of people worldwide have already died because of COVID-19. But a much higher percentage of those who got the virus have totally recovered. So let's do our part for all of us to stay healthy and safe. This is Reality Radio with Kathy Hughes. What's your reality? What's your reality? What's your reality? What's your reality?
There's a chance your local Geico agent has the same affinity for dad jokes as you.
What do you call a fake noodle?
I don't know. Maybe an impasta.
Oh, so cheesy.
Did it grate on you?
Yeah, you really shredded me.
But there's a better chance your local Geico agent could help you out with auto, homeowners, renters, or condo insurance. Motorcycle, boat, or RV insurance, too. They'll work hard to provide sound advice and significant savings. You don't need to share a love for paternal puns to do that. Local Geico agents. Call or visit yours today.
Prepare to be encouraged, empowered, and ridiculously blessed by the Ministry in the Marketplace show, hosted by Elder Michael Davis at 8:30 a.m. every Saturday morning on Praise 106.1 FM. Learn